Well, Jeff and Howard, thank you for agreeing to participate in this open panel forum. And the first topic that we're going to address is standards. And I guess my first open question to you, Howard and Jeff, is what is ISO 14644-1? And really, what does it pertain to? As a follow-up segment to that, we wanted to talk about Federal Standard 209E, the background of the organizations involved in that standard making, what is the IST's role, and what is the ASTM's role. So I guess my first question to both of you is, ISO 14644-1. Howard, if I can start with you, what is that ISO standard, and in your opinion and background, what do you feel that most specifically pertains to?
Okay, let me see if I can pull it all together, because the questions aren't as separate as they would seem to be. ISO 14644 represents the classification of clean rooms as determined by air particle measurements within the clean room. So it's an attempt to, if you would, stratify various clean rooms as their air quality is measured. The beauty of ISO is that it's an international organization. So you don't have one country's standards applying here, another country's standards applying here, and then difficulties in cross-communication. It came as an outgrowth from the Federal Standard 209E. That was the only contributing document to the ISO document, but it certainly formed a huge basis for it, and it represented a step forward in correcting some things that probably should have been done a long time ago, like measurement of particle densities, not in terms of square feet, but in terms of cubic feet, in terms of cubic meters. So the translation to metric standard was obviously called for, and it was addressed in 14644. IEST has a pivotal role in the United States for environmental issues. They have many working groups addressing a wide variety of topics, including air particle measurements, including measurements of contamination levels of consumables, and the like. ASTM's role, if I can just wrap it up in terms of one big bundle, was formed. That ASTM chose to address contamination control as it related to the space industry. So this goes back to the 60s. So they were developing the earliest standards related to contamination control, and currently the Space Simulation Working Group represents the ASTM's efforts for contamination control. And their standards, though, go beyond just space applications. Their standards can be applied to almost every industry. So, long answer to what I thought was pretty short coaching questions.
So if I could summarize it, it appears as if it was really the space race that developed the ASTM standard and approach.
Exactly.
And then from that, the Federal 209E standard developed as a result of ASTM. And then the ISO standard is kind of the globalization in the metric of what was initially the 209E.
Yes.
209E is actually replaced by the 14644. It was replaced in November of 2001, where there was a cutover on that date that will not be recognized as a official standard, and it was cut over to 14644-1 on that date.
So the Federal 209E is in fact no longer a standard.
Correct.
Then why do still so many people refer to that standard in the operation of their clean room? Why is that, Jeff?
That's an interesting question, and we have many customers who still refer to the old Federal Standard 209E, that class 100,000 clean room, where we have a class 10,000 clean room. If you look at it in today with 14644 in existence, those standards of class 100 or class 100,000 don't exist anymore, but it's kind of the old domino trick sort of thing, where this has been the way that clean rooms have been measured for 50, 60, 70 years. and it's tough to change people's mindsets.